Saraya has debuted for AEW. The full lineup for NJPW's Royal Quest has been announced. Jamie Hayter has been announced for this weekend's 1PW New Twist of Fate, as Ruby Soho can no longer make the booking. Sovereign Pro Wrestling join the TNT Extreme Fields lineup. Connor Mills is the fourth Rev Pro UK J Cup entrant. Dirty Dango has been announced for an ICW Fight Club. Plus, Progress have announced the Natural Progression Series lineup. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is TNT, the Great British Podcast for Great British Wrestling. As featured on BodySlam.net and the Jonas Podcasting Network, I am the host, the Great British Attack, Mr. Andrew Moranty, to most. Joined us always is Big Daddy Dan, Mr. Daniel Allen, King Dan for short.
You really have spoilt me with my intro today. Thank you very much.
No,
I just say how lovely your hair is looking today.
Yeah, it's about time, trimmed back. Oh, the last two interviews I did, man, I was just like, I had no idea what to do with my hair. It's just too much.
I am starting to look like a bit of a shaggy bastard because I am prepping for December. As our regular listeners and viewers will know, I do Santa in December. So, yes, I am starting to get a little bit hairy.
You do Santa?
I do Santa. Giggity. Right.
Yes. Let's get on. All Elite Wrestling. Well, actually, before we get on, let's just say that this is another massive weekend for British wrestling, European wrestling as a whole. There is so much happening, and of course we're going to be talking about that. We've got our top stories. We got the review of the much controversial Cheeseburgers and Handshakes, or Handshakes and Cheeseburgers, the Progress show that brought in some controversial reviews, and we'll talk about reviews and how you should handle them and other ways when we talk about that. We've also got a massive guide to the World Tag Team Festival. It's the only European story we have right at the end, because I'm going to be over there and it's going to be amazing. And Dan's got a big surprise for you coming up shortly.
I was going to say, you're saying what a big weekend this is for British wrestling. It must be full of zombies.
Yeah, because Brit Wres is dead, obviously. It's but yeah, there's so much talent, there's so much happening, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's kick it off. We'll talk about America first. Let's talk about Saraya, formerly Paige of AEW, member of the Fighting Night family over at Norwich. I know she's due to be in World Association Wrestling as a special guest referee coming soon. Now she made her debut for AEW. That was a surprise.
It was a surprise. I mean, we knew there was a surprise coming because this is Tony Khan, so every surprise is announced in advance. But this was a good one.
Yeah.
And she came out in the best way possible for a debutante to come out to the leading in the division and scare them out the ring. Now, why do you think that happened?
Yeah, chase them off. I don't know. Who were they being chased off from?
Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Serena Deeb, I believe, were the ones that were chased off at the time.
You mean Hayter hasn't turned on Britt yet, or Britt hasn't turned on Hayter yet? Jeez.
No.
When are they going to do that? Wasting Hayter.
But have they done that because Saraya is still not cleared to wrestle?
Yes. Now, Dave Meltzer reported that, she is not medically cleared to wrestle in the WWE. She was on a no contact contract, which I only believe was done previously for Bobby Heenan. So that says, quite a lot, since people being on no contact contracts. And of course, she's going to be in the WWA show as well soon. And
as a
so that's
referee,
good.
yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. We know referees can end up taking bumps in wrestling.
Poor James Greenwood.
Poor James Greenwood. Poor Oscar Harding as well, and Chris Hatch. So many. Tom Scarborough. They all get it. But Scott Bell, that was another one. KT. So many great referees in the UK, by the way.
Yeah, really, we do have some fantastic referees. Yes, big up the Zebras.
Yeah, so very, very interesting to see what's going to be happening. I just want to want to be safe, and that is about anything I really have to say on it. I just want her to be safe and make sure that she's taking the utmost care.
Well, we do already in AEW have 2 female managers who don't get physically involved in Rebel and in Vicky Guerrero. So let's see what we do with Saraya.
Who needs to be who needs a manager? Does Tony Storm need a manager? Well, that really, what's Tony Storm like on
Tony Storm's fine on the mic. I don't know what Jamie Hayter's like on the mic.
Yeah, can't really think of what Jamie Hayter's like on the mic, but yeah, natural pairing, Jamie Hayter and Paige, but of course Hayter's still with Brooke Breaker, so that's a no-go, I guess.
Here we go. Just a quick fantasy book. Bring in the Dream Dolls of Mariah May and Zoe Lucas and have Saraya manage them. British Invasion.
While I love it because it's the Dream Dolls and they're amazing, Mariah May and Zoe Lucas.
Yeah.
Paige does not suit them.
She could.
She's a goth. She's a hardcore rocker thing. Hater, yes. Let's see. In the UK, Windsor? The She-Wolves?
Oh, God, the She-Wolves would be awesome. She-Wolves would be so good. Yeah. Okay, let's focus on, you mentioned Alex Windsor. Alex Windsor has been announced.
I was just going to say, with All Elite Wrestling, just throw it out there, apparently Aleister Black has not been released, is the latest reports. And since he's a Dutch and was quite popular in the British wrestling scene and Europe wrestling scene, just thought we'd mention the Aleister Black situation. And again, just hope things start to pick up for him. Now let's talk about NJPW Royal Quest.
The full lineup for this weekend's New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest has been announced, and it features plenty of British wrestling talent on both nights, with many stars of Rev Pro UK making their New Japan World debuts, including RKJ, Michael Oku, Kanji, and Alex Windsor, to name a few.
Yeah, I mean, talk about good.
This show looks to have some amazing matches. It looks to have some fantastic talent. And let's just hope some people turn up to watch it.
Both nights are sold out.
They've sold out, both of them now.
Both nights are sold out.
I apologise and I'm impressed.
Absolutely. I don't know what the capacity is, but I'm guessing probably going to be around 1,000, maybe.
I've been to that venue before for a charity football match organised by the NME. And yeah, it will easily hold that.
Yeah, so both nights, full sold out. I hope people can get there. Well, I'm not sure how. You'll have to give it a go. But as you say, I was not expecting quite as much British wrestling talent on these cards as we've got. It seems that, they've come over here and they've gone, right, we want to do this, but we also want to get some British wrestlers in there. Let's get some Brits. Yeah. And
yeah, I agree with that. But I would also say I wasn't expecting this level of top-end New Japan stars to be here, because Everybody's here.
I knew the top stars were going to be here. I will say a bar, maybe one or two. The minor. There's not many junior heavyweights.
That's because I've got the British ones.
Yeah, that's very true. But I believe altogether, I think Doki, Takahashi, and Hiromu Tanahashi. El Desperado are the only juniors that have been. So it's a very heavyweight card. But as you say, it's going to be absolutely insane. Do you want to go through night one?
I would love to. We have a headliner. In fact, I think it should be the headline. It will probably be the second to headline. Aussie Open versus FTR. Dream match territory.
This is a match that had been previously announced. And yeah, obviously, when we first saw this one, we were like, yay, FTR, Aussie Open, we're getting it. We wanted it, and we got it.
Will Ospreay versus Shota Umino.
Is this the biggest match that Will Ospreay could have had on this tournament tour? Probably not. But, Umino is a fantastic talent. He's a talent that New Japan are going to want to get over at some point. They're going to want to bring him back. Big match feel against a guy who's worked with on a few different occasions already as part of Rev Pro UK, including a singles match.
And Umino, of course, has got that ongoing simmering storyline of friendship with John Moxley. Is this going to be a way to bring Moxley in, or have Ospreay go over to take on Moxley at some point using Umino as the stepping stone? We can hope.
They kind of already did that one when he faced him at New Japan Strong. I can't remember. It was last year.
Yeah, I was talking on the AEW side.
Oh, on the AEW side. I don't expect Will Ospreay to be back in AEW for a while. According to things, it's probably going to be a while before Will Ospreay turns back up on which is a shame. Mm-hmm. But there may be a few people who maybe have been against bringing him in the first place there.
Who are currently suspended.
Allegedly.
We then have Tamatonga, Jado, Hikaru, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay White, Gato, Gallows, and Anderson.
Yeah, they love their multi-man matches to help fill up numbers and cards. And this is as good as any. Obviously, we've had that the rivalry right now has been between Tamatonga and Jay White. I believe Hikuleo had just turned on Jay White after originally turning on Tama.
He is out of the Bullet Club.
Yeah. So what do you reckon? God versus the Bloodline.
I'd watch that.
Damn right I would. That would be a great going. Anyway, keep going.
Tomohiro Ishii and Kazuchika Okada versus Jonah and Bad Dude Tito.
I don't know much about Bad Dude Tito. I believe he is an Australian. That's there is a group, but I think him, Jonah, and there's at least a couple of others that make up a faction now in New Japan Strong, because of, again, New Japan, they love their faction. So he's a big guy. I think he picked up a few impressive wins in the G1 Climax recently, but obviously I was typically only watching Zack Sabre and Will Ospreay. I just didn't have time to watch it all. Anyway, again, continue.
Hiromu Takahashi and Sanada and Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr., Desperado, and Doki. That's going to be a fast-paced match.
Yeah, so this is where we finally get a couple of juniors into the card, as we say, Hiromu Takahashi and Desperado and Doki, Zack Sabre Jr., Sanada. He's Zack Sabre Jr. and Sonata have had some technical classics, and right now he's been in a heated rivalry with Naito, and we'll talk about that match for night 2.
Gideon Gray and the Great Khan versus RKJ and Michael Oku.
Yeah, so Gideon Gray was revealed as the United Empire's backer very recently, has been doing the rounds over in Japan, and we're super stoked for Gideon Gray to be getting this opportunity. He's phenomenally talented wrestler and very underrated as a talent. And him and the Great Khan, of course, have a long history as part of the Legion. Great Khan was under his care and a long-time tag team champion alongside Rampage Brown.
Love the Legion. And finally, Kanji and Jazzy Gabert versus Alex Windsor and Ava White.
We got a women's match, which is amazing.
For New Japan, yes.
For New Japan, definitely, it is amazing. Kanji and Alex Windsor are two of the best in the UK. We know that. We said it for a long time because Kanji is the Southside Women's Champion, and Alex Windsor is the current Rev Pro UK Undisputed Women's Champion. I'm sure they'll combine those titles at some point. Jazzy Gabert, legend of women's wrestling, European wrestling, Japanese wrestling, British wrestling, alpha female. You know, she's a badass. And Ava White, what an opportunity for this amazing. She's very talented, very tall, very, very long legs, has a dancer's background, and she uses that to unleash a few big kicks. So good should be great. Great first night. Now our friend Mark O'Brien is going to be there for bodyslam.net and helping channeling for Satine Kites. We might bring him in to obviously discuss both night 1 and night 2, and we'll be, as well as the World Tag Team Festival and another surprise very shortly. Tomohiro Ishii will be facing Jonah on night 2, probably going to be the main event. It's going to be two big bad dudes.
I agree, but it won't be the main event.
And then probably Okada and Bad Dude Tito. Sorry, that's going to be the main event. No, you still don't think? Oh, it will be the main event.
Final match on the card that you've got written down here will be the main event.
No, it'll be used as an opener. It's so it'd be Kazuchi Okada. He's the Rainmaker. He's the money man. He's gonna main event this. Even though it is against Bad Dude Tito, it's not the biggest match on the card, possibly, but there is another match that I think possibly could main event. I actually just seen it, and we'll get there. Tamatonga, Hikuleo, and Tanahashi will be facing Jay White, Gallows, and Anderson. So same as the night before, just one less person in the match.
That will be a bad-tempered match.
Yes, it will. This will be a hard-hitting, bad-tempered match. Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr. Again, really possibly this could be the main event. You know, Naito is a main event star for NJPW for a long time. They have been pushing Zack Sabre Jr. recently as a main event star. I do believe the winner of that match will be challenging Will Ospreay for his US Heavyweight Championship. Have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Hiromu Tanahashi versus and Sonata are going to take on the Young Guns. The Young Guns.
I'm so happy.
New Japan. If there's anyone built for New Japan, it's Keith Allen and Luke Jacobs. You know,
Ethan Allen's been saying this is the comeback match of dreams.
It is, and you know, I love them as Northwest Strong. I think they have been getting a great training in the UK in Future Shock Wrestling. They've also, of course, had the training of Zach Gibson and James Drake, but they are two guys that are young enough to go over to Japan and become the next two British young lions, like Gabriel Kidd has just been and done.
I don't want that to happen.
I know. I wouldn't, because the other thing is they would be stripped. They wouldn't be attacked. They wouldn't be attacked in to begin with, obviously, because they'd be made to face each other off many times and against others. But if there's two people built to go to the New Japan Young Lions system, it's those two young men, and they could have an incredible journey over in Japan. Whether it be New Japan, whether it be Pro Wrestling Noah with Chris Ridgway.
It will be
their futures for me is Japan.
It will be a big decision for them, because if they do go into the Young Lions system, that's them gone from the spotlight for a while.
For a year or two, yeah. But don't forget,
they're
both
young.
under 21. I think, I'm pretty sure they're both 21 or under, or at least still under 23. So it wouldn't matter. They've got many years ahead, and the valuable learning experience that they could get in New Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah would be incredible. Anyway, back to it. I'm lost. Here we go.
Jazzy Gabert
versus Ava. Right, now this is the IWGP Women's Tournament kickoff. So whoever wins this will go on to face the other international entrant who got a bye over in Japan in a couple of weeks. I'd love it to be Ava. I really would. But I could see Jazzy as well, former Stardom champion. It would be good for them to draw back onto that history. Anyway, now you think that this 10-man tag might likely be the main event. Now, 10-man tags do sometimes main event in New Japan, but not when there are bigger singles matches on the card.
But they are in the United Kingdom.
They are, but then they've got Zack Sabre Jr. and Tetsuya Naito.
But they also have the United Empire.
They also have the United Empire. Yeah.
And this match is Gabriel Kidd, Shota Umino, RKJ, and FTR, big names, versus the United Empire of Ospreay, Khan, Gideon, and Aussie Open.
My issue with these is typically 10-man matches are used as filler, and it's just New Japan booking. It's the way they do it. There is one more match. It is a tag team match. It is a juniors match as Doki teams with El Desperado as they face Robbie X and Michael Oku. As I say, night one, night two, brilliant. And again, huge international eyes are going to be on this. Eyes from Japan, eyes from America. This is probably more eyes than the recent GCW TNT Extreme.
Yeah, but this is a bigger promotion.
Possibly, yes. Now this is not being promoted live. There is no live broadcast. There's no live pay-per-view. I do believe it's just going to be on New Japan World in a couple of weeks.
That does surprise me.
I was quite surprised as well, considering the lineup. Yeah, but so technically a 10-man tag could main event, because they're almost seeing these as house shows, and sometimes during the house show tour market, you do get a 10-man main event.
Maybe all the good wrestling videoing people are busy this weekend.
They certainly could be. And as I say, it's not the only thing really kicking off. I mean, let's start with Thursday night, Modern Nomad Pro Wrestling. And I might go to this.
January, we've said we really must go to one of these shows.
I know, and I'm going to be in Manchester because I'm staying in the airport the night before, because it's just going to be so much damn easier for me to, not staying in the airport, but staying at a hotel near the airport. So I might
just see the blanket over 3 seats.
Why not go see Modern Nomad Pro Wrestling? So yeah, give it a go. Now they've got a good lineup as well. CDK versus Boulderama. I will see CDK over in Germany. Shigehiro Irie versus Dan Maloney. Obviously, Irie over in Germany. Kid Lycos versus Kid Lycos 2. Aussie Open versus Chapman Brothers, who I won't get to see. Millie McKenzie and Alex versus Alex Windsor as well. 5 absolutely fantastic matches. And I've heard a lot about Modern Nomad Pro Wrestling. I've seen the clips online. I've watched the YouTubes. And if I'm going to be there, I might as well go. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, on Saturday, the 1st of October, we've arranged for you to go somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah. I'm going to Doncaster, which isn't something that people always shout out with excitement. But I am going to Doncaster. I nearly got him to spill his drink. I'm going to 1PW this Saturday, the 1st of October, to see the absolutely amazing card that they have put on, and I cannot wait. Although there has been a little tweak to the card, hasn't there?
Little tweaks here and there, and we're gonna have to discuss a couple of these little tweaks. But we'll talk about, I think, which is the biggest tweak, and that is the fact that Ruby Soho is not going to be available. She has been injured over on AEW, so she can no longer compete. Now they have an amazing replacement.
I'm very happy about the replacement.
It's Jamie freaking Hayter. Now, I said I do think Soho is good, but I believe bringing Hayter is an upgrade.
I agree. In as much as Hayter's not as big a name. But
now she's been in AEW for quite some time. You'd probably say they're about equal name value.
I'm just really excited to see Jamie Hayter. I think she's absolutely fantastic, brilliant wrestler, so multi-talented. Really looking forward to seeing her, and of course, she is going to be in a rather good matchup, isn't she?
Certainly is. We'll get into that in just a sec. The other notable, now they have announced that Michael Oku is not going to be available, and he has been replaced with NXT UK superstar Amir Jordan. Of course, the reason why Michael Oku is not available, as you probably just realized from what we were saying about the New Japan card, is Michael Oku is at New Japan.
Now, I was going to give the benefit of the doubt here. I was going to say maybe he has been forced to by Rev Pro, who obviously he is very much a major part of, and they have the connection with New Japan. But you did point out that Michael Oku was originally announced for Soft Pro.
Yeah, so 1st of October, he was originally supposed to be announced for Soft Pro Wrestling. He dropped out of that booking, was then later announced for One Pro Wrestling on the same date. And now he's dropped out of this one. Look, I'm going to let other people judge how you want to judge it. I don't think it looks great. So with that being said, RKJ is also supposed to be on the card, and he is also in New Japan on the 1st of October. So we'll see if again an announcement hasn't been made regarding RKJ. So I don't know what's quite happening there. But let's go through the card anyway. King Dan, go away.
Jamie Hayter will be taking on Session Moth Martina. This will be a fun match that the crowd will get into. This will be good. Amir Jordan versus Man Like Doris versus Callum Newman versus Will Cruz versus Scotty Rourke versus possibly RKJ
or someone else.
Yeah. We shall see, or maybe not. Man Like Doris and Callum Newman are in the match. It's going to be phenomenal.
Gonna be great, man. Amir Jordan. Come on, Amir Jordan's great.
I know, but I'm just being personally biased because they are two of my favourite wrestlers. I love Will Cruz. I think Scotty Rourke is brilliant. I think Amir Jordan is very talented, but it's my favourites. And
Costa Constantino has already called us out for our CPF biasism on this show, so we have to be careful.
Okay. Here's one that I'm not biased about. I will be happy if either of these gentlemen win. Cara Noir versus Christopher Daniels.
I'm biased.
I can understand that.
Sorry.
I'm also really excited because my wife's coming with me, Amy, and she's not seen Cara Noir before. So I think she's going to be in for a real treat.
Indeed.
The British Invasion. The proper British Invasion. I'm hoping for a Rob Terry run-in, I must admit. I'm going to take on Team Shag. First time Team Shag have teamed in 15 years. Are you going to miss?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm going to be biased again.
Yeah, it's got to be, really. Mickie James versus Lizzie Evo. This should be brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to be unbiased in this one.
I'm going to be unbiased in this one. But Mickie James is rounding up her career at the moment. She appears to be...
Well, she's having a last-minute resurgence during the time as well.
Yeah. So it should be really great.
Yeah.
Alexander Hammerstone versus Nathan Cruz.
Hammerstone.
This is the fold match for me. This is possibly my go and grab a beer match. They're both great wrestlers, but I don't... I know there's no background story to any of these matches, really. No. But it's the one that I care the least about personally.
Hammerstone is fantastic.
Hammerstone's fantastic. Nathan Cruz is brilliant. But just for the rest of the card, I can get really excited about it. This match is the least, and I'm hoping to God neither of them hear this before I get to meet them. Robbie X versus
Do you want me to edit that out?
Yeah, let's do that. You're not going to, are you? Bastard?
No.
Robbie X.
I'm going to clip it and show it.
Dig. Robbie X versus Ace Austin is going to be brilliant. We keep saying that Robbie X needs to go international.
Again,
Robbie X needs to go international.
Tailor-made for the X division.
Rob Van Dam with Katie Forbes versus Mark Haskins with Vicky Haskins.
It's going to be biased. Mark Haskins.
I'm an ECW fan forever. Mark Haskins is brilliant. Rob Van Dam is Rob Van Dam. I'm going to get to see
one of a kind.
Yeah. Oh God, if he comes out to that, I might just explode. And Tyler Devlin, Big Effin' Joe, and Ulf Herman versus Clint Margera, Iceman, and Jack in a Who's the Sickest match.
Survival of the sickest.
Survival of the sickest. I'm looking forward to this. Big Effin' Joe is brilliant all round. Clint Margera is brilliant all round, not just deathmatch. Ulf Herman, great wrestler as well. I think there will be deathmatch elements to this. I think there will probably be light tubes. I think there will be a fair amount of violence, but I am looking forward to it. And I cannot wait to go along and watch 1PW. And I will, of course, be tweeting live on the day, putting out lots and lots of photos and information. And yeah.
Indeed.
Where can people watch this? Is this one on Fight?
Yeah, this is on Fight. It's going to be live on pay-per-view for Fight. I don't know how much it is, though.
Neither do I off the top of my head. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, and you get to do the Fanglam Slam as well, or the Flan Slam.
Fan Slam,
yeah.
And there's some people that are going to be there that aren't on the card, I believe, as well.
Are there?
Oh no, they were, but they're now on the card. Sorry, my apologies. Jamie Hayter was announced for the Fan Fest meet and greet before she was put on the card, which sounds a bit of a different way of doing it, but yeah.
I thought this was going live on pay-per-view, but it's not on the Fight schedule.
We'll double check that. While we're doing that, let me tell you about Wrestling Experience Scotland. ICW present Wrestling Experience Scotland on the 1st of October in Ayr. Oh my God, it's another show on the 1st of October. This is insane.
Indeed. There's lots I told you, there's lots going on. It's a great weekend and some big returns on this card for the Wrestling Experience ICW.
Yeah. Daz Black versus Luking Sharp. We love Daz Black.
Indeed.
Shah Samuels. Returning Shah Samuels has already gone back versus Sheikh El Sham. BT Gunn versus Kenny Williams. Kenny
making his return. The
cockroach is gonna get squished. Kez Evans will take on Chris Bungard. I'm happy to see Kez Evans get beaten up. The young team of Logan Smith and Jimmy Pierce take on Molly Spartan and Dylan Thorne. That's an interesting combination. Thatcher Wright takes on Luke Cairo, and Jason Reed goes one-on-one with Craig Anthony.
There's a match I think will be very exciting.
I think you're right.
I'll be very, very happy to be. And then on the next day, on the 2nd of October, in ICW Fight Club taping over at the Asylum in Glasgow, BT Gunn versus Shah Samuels. Denise versus Daisy Jenkins. Andy Wild versus Aaron Echo. Daz Black versus Logan Smith. Jimmy Pierce versus Jason Reed. Stevie James versus Leighton Buzzard versus Craig Anthony. Casey versus Rio. Dylan Thorne versus Eddie Castle, and more.
And they have announced somebody special attending, haven't they?
Not for this ICW Fight Club, no. For an ICW Fight Club coming up soon.
Yeah. Dirty Dango, formerly known as Fan Dango, in WWE. He will be in Northumbria University in Newcastle with ICW as he teams with Shah Samuels to face the KOW for a Fight Club taping on the 23rd of October.
I wonder if his entrance music makes it in the top charts again.
I wonder how surprised people will be when they see how big he is. Because everyone's always shocked when ex-WWE guys come over and it's like, bloody hell, you're huge.
He wasn't big for WWE though, was he?
No, but it'll still be big for everywhere else.
Everyone else, yeah.
Another bit of news from ICW. Fear and Loathing has been moved to the garage in Glasgow from the ballroom to the garage. Now, I think ICW have been really nice with this because it is a change of venue, because it is a little more out of the way than the ballroom was, because it's put people out. They have said that anyone that has already bought tickets will receive a £20 merchandise voucher, which I think is a classy thing to do. Well done, ICW. ICW and classy.
Indeed.
ICW and classy.
Again, 1st of October, another massive show, debut show this time. We've got returns, debuts, it's crazy. Anyway, Southern Pro Wrestling, Warhorse versus Levi Muir versus Malik versus Joseph Connors. The winner of the match will be crowned the inaugural Southern Pro champion. Harley Hudson.
Who do you reckon it's going to be?
Malik.
Ooh, I reckon Joseph Connors.
I'm going to go with my boy Malik, the heavy hitter. Because Costantino's paid me to say that.
You'll do anything for 50p in a packet of grapes.
It's true. Harley Hudson versus Mariah May in a dream house death match. Anything pink is legal.
Can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be weird. It's going to be insane. It's going to be entertaining. Lots and lots of fun, yeah. And two amazing women as well. What a fantastic performers both of these are.
Yeah. The 8-7 will be taking on a CPF combination of Just Joe Lando and Danny Black.
Good matchup. Now, did you see some of the promo videos they just did?
Yes.
Danny Black, Roy Johnson, all he got is the bounce. I'm just gonna move.
I just thought it was brilliant.
And I did again. I love Ross' response to it as well. But I do believe, right, and I'm just throwing it out there, right. Roy Johnson called him Daniel Black and Joseph Lando. that means they're going to get a whooping. Because they, your mama and your daddy, they always said your full name when you was about to get a whooping. So, yeah, that's going to be a great match. Another phenomenal matchup.
Yeah.
Danny Duggan versus Joey Hayes. Danny Duggan, an LA, trained over at the LA Dojo, 1PW, over at Slam Masters Wrestling, Welsh Wrestling, Full Force Wrestling. Joey Hayes is a legend. He really, really is. He's one of the best wrestlers in the UK as well, particularly as a worker. So this is going to be another fantastic match.
Aurora Tevez versus Lucia Lee. I love both of these ladies, and I think Aurora Tevez has had a brilliant 2022. And I am very pleased to see her in Soft Pro's opening show, because Soft Pro are going to be big in the UK. So I am really pleased to see Aurora Tevez there.
I believe so. They're making all the right moves. You look at the professionalism of the setup. You look at the card that they've put together. You've looked at the fact that they've gone into producing music for individual music for their shows. If you've gone into the fact that they are even looking at a toy line. So, yeah, Sopro are doing exactly what we would have wanted somebody to do right now, and that's try to take British wrestling up to the next level. And I think some of the matches on that card will be just as good as anywhere else you'll see in the UK during this weekend, including Benjamin Black, the Pain Baker, versus RJ Singh, the DDD King. And then it is Tom Fairwell and Maverick Mayhew. Now, a lot of people probably underrating this match. These are two amazing young wrestlers, two amazing young British style wrestlers. This is going to be good. Very, very good. And again, not one to be missed.
Definitely not. And then the match that I personally am belching for. I personally am most excited for. I like all the matches on the card, but this one, Yestin Reese versus Simon Miller versus Big Guns Joe versus Smashing Mike versus Commander Stephanie Sterling versus Kid versus Ian Skinner. This is going to be a wonderful combination of a gigantic cluster, a technical masterpiece, a high-flying skill, a comedy show, and some bloody good wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, you literally nailed the head. Yeah. Yestin Reese, powerhouse. Simon Miller, bit of powerhouse comedy. Big Guns Joe, powerhouse comedy. Smashing Mike, just energy. Commander Stephanie Sterling, powerhouse and very much fun and entertaining. Kid Bandit, great for the kids, great for the entertaining, amazing technical wrestler, bit of a high flyer. Ian Skinner, he's just, phenomenal technical wrestler, got excellent striking, and we know for a fact that he's got a lot of acting chops about him,
as we learned through Thatcher's Cabinet.
Yeah, and so again, he's going to be able to provide a lot of entertainment. And Mr. Skinner, Smashing Mike, had a lot to say about you on our interview. So
he did indeed,
you should go check that out, really, if you haven't yet, Mr. Skinner, and respond. But Sovereign Pro have announced that they're also going to be part of that TNT Extreme Wrestling Extreme Fields. So, they are the latest of promotion to join it, along with the Lancashire Wrestling Federation, who've recently signed up as well. You mentioned before Wrestle Island, North Wrestling, and Chaos Wrestling. It's great. It
is. Music-wise, Reaper have also been announced, and it is all going to be broadcast live on Liverpool Live Radio. Excellent work bringing in the radio aspect there. Music, radio makes sense.
It really, really does. Right. And North Wrestling have actually announced their matchup for the show, which will put their North Wrestling Championship on the line in a fatal four-way. That is Liam Slater defending against Jack Bandicoot, Leon Slater, and Will Cruz. Again, each one of these guys brings something completely different. You got technical mastery in Liam, creative innovation in Jack Bandicoot, one of the best high flyers anywhere in the world right now in Leon Slater, and one of the best young Hoss heavyweights.
That's a headlining match for me. It's brilliant. TNT Extreme Wrestling have also announced 2 matches that they're going to be putting on. Millie McKenzie will take on Alexis Falcon, and Tom Thelwell will challenge Nico Angelo for the TNT Ultra X Championship. And Nico did mention how much he not respects, but appreciates Tom Thelwell's technical skills, but doesn't necessarily respect him.
Yes, Mr. Nico Angelo just picked up the Ultra X Championship at the Wales show. Can't remember, Reign of Fire. That was the show, which should be available to watch on Pro Wrestling TV this week. So keep an eye out for that. 2 more matches have actually already been announced since I wrote this up, and it is Millie McKenzie challenging Alexis Falcon for the World Heavyweight Champion, for the TNT Extreme Women's Championship. That's a great match. And Maggot versus, Maggot's going to be on the show. How brilliant is that? Versus Tate Mayfairs. And I cannot wait for this interaction. I cannot wait to see what Tate makes of Maggot and his antics, and the vice versa. I really want to see what Maggot thinks of Tate Mayfair's character and antics. It's going to be really, really interesting. Did you mention the tag team match, or did I just jump in?
You jumped in.
Go tell us about the tag team match then.
The She-Wolves. Love the She-Wolves. Will defend their newly won, I got to see that happen, TNT Women's Tag Team Championships against the former champions, the Liverbirds.
Angel Hayes and Lizzie Evo.
It was a great match last time. It'll be a great match this time.
Yep, and as far as I know, Matt Hand's still to be announced. He's been announced for the show, so it'll be interesting to see who he's facing at the show, and I'm sure there's going to be some, many more incredible matches announced over the next period. Rev Pro UK.
Yes.
Yoda Tsuji. Shota Umino challenges Ricky Knight Jr. for the RPW Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship when Rev Pro UK return to Southampton, which is on the 9th of October. 4 other matches have also been announced. Yoda Tsuji versus Robbie X. Pretty Souls versus Samuel Hawks and Cameron Kai. Again, I believe are 2 young lads from their Portsmouth Wrestling Academy. So getting them some exposure. Michael Oku.
Just a little bit of quick aside news quickly.
What's that? Sorry.
I've just had a quick look on Rev Pro, and they've actually announced that the headlining match on night 2 of New Japan, you were right, it's Tetsuya Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. Okay. See, I figured it would be.
Yep, you are a clever bugger.
Oh yeah, I think it would typically be the main event when you have the option. Even though the 10-man tag may play the second main event or semi-main event, if you like. As we say, Michael Oku and Will Caven. Will Caven, again, another young lad from their Portsmouth Wrestling Academy, actually picked up a huge victory over Michael Oku very recently. So it will be interesting to see. Can he go for a deuce? Remy Atunji will be facing Sean Jackson. Nice to see Sean Jackson back, a member of last crop of Rev Pro UK contenders, graduates. Remy Atanji is the new part of the new contenders. He is absolutely jacked. He looks like a beast, and he's just joined the 87.
Woo!
So there you go. And we've got the fourth competitor that's been announced for the Rev Pro UK J Cup, which is on the 22nd of October. Big Daddy Dan will be there, and it is Connor Mills. I know I said Leon Slater to win last week. I'm going to change my mind. Connor Mills to win. It's his time. I'm telling you, it's damn well should be his time anyway. Still some progress.
I'm not going to make a bet until I know exactly what the lineup is.
Actually, before we go on to the news, let's go to the review portion of the show.
Okie dokie.
Now, a lot was made about a review that was made about the show. Now, while I think the people who posted the review, it's fine. I think they probably shouldn't have tagged the review, but people are always going to be entitled to their own opinions, and we shouldn't try to concern ourselves too much as professional athletes about what some this person, as far as I'm aware, is not even a proper wrestling journalist. He just said he would do the review because he was at the show, and Grapple Theory bring guest writers. They constantly post out there if somebody wants to write a review for shows. These are the shows they're looking for, and so somebody provided their review. My opinion is a little bit that person went out with the bottom line of trying to say Progress is dead. I think Progress have become the obvious whipping boys recently of British wrestling. I don't know whether this is due to their connection to the WWE. They are almost treated like the WWE of Brit Wres when it comes to some fans' opinions. But as I say, I don't think they should get too caught up in calling out people who make reviews. Just either read it. If you don't think there's any constructive criticism, dump it in the bin. Doesn't need to be talked about. There's no point trying to say things. That's kind of my public opinion of that. Now let's get to my review of it, and let's see what I truly made of the show. Kicked off with Sunshine Machine against the Kings of the North. Sunshine Machine have regularly opened up a lot of Progress shows as of late. I feel like I've seen Sunshine Machine a lot as of late, and they are the tag team champions. We should be seeing them, but they are everywhere right now, and I am finding their matches are a bit paint by numbers, and let's just make sure I get all my double team moves in. They could save a few double team moves and change up the double team moves that they use in each. It's becoming repetitive. This was still a strong match. I thought the Kings of the North were really good. I thought they managed to keep Sunshine Machine isolated at times, and they were big bad bruises. They kept Kings of the North looking strong because it was Chuck Mambo winning via a roll up rather than hitting a finishing move and getting the pinfall. It was a good match. Effie versus Tate Mayfair. Lots of character work. Nothing wrong with that. Character wrestling is very, very important in wrestling, and Effie and Tate Mayfair have great characters. And if you don't like Effie's type of character, if you want Effie to tone it down for some reason, that's your choice and whatever. But honestly, if you keep telling Effie to tone it down, he's just going to turn it up and turn it up and turn it up, because that just kind of seems to be what he can do. He is a phenomenal talent. He's a great wrestler. Him and Tate Mayfair's put on, for me, a really good showing. And Tate Mayfair's got a really big win. However, he did so by roll-up to roll-ups in short concession. So, that would be a constructive criticism. I don't think you should have back-to-back roll-ups on a show. G Money versus the internet champion, Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona and G Money, you know, Matt Cardona's not can give you 5 stars. He is a good wrestler. He's a strong wrestler. Him and G Money put on a strong match. There was some entertaining aspects to this match. Got the crowd involved in this match. And then there was a low blow and belts and so forth. And Kid Lycos versus Joey Janela was beforehand. I'm never going to be Joey Janela's biggest fan. Kid Lycos put on a good match with him though, and yeah. G Money, as I say, Matt Cardona I thought was the better, but Kid Lycos' match finished with a low blow, and G Money's match finished with a low blow. Again, probably not great to do back-to-back booking of Lobo and what would be the word? Contested finishes, but it was both were still strong matches, and you can't take away from the actual matches themselves. Not the way I would have had them finished. That's all I'm saying. Progress Women's Champion Kanji teamed with Ali Catch to face Lana Austin and Sky Smithson. Ali Catch kept growing on me during the TNT Extreme GCW weekend. I know she did something in the match that you were there, and you just think shouldn't be in wrestling. I do agree with that, but she did improve on the next 2 nights. It was strong. She looked good. Kanji looked fantastic. Sky Smithson is a phenomenal athlete and one of the best young wrestlers in the UK right now. Lana Austin is absolutely amazing, one of the best heels in women's wrestling right now. She has reinvigorated her career to make her almost like indispensable to the British wrestling scene right now. And a great tag team match, and the fans were really into it. They also had LA Taylor come out to knock Kanji out, and that was the reason. So Ali Catch then left Kanji in the ring. Well, the others because she just went to the back. Then there was an extremely insane, crazy 7-man match that I don't remember them actually being rules for, but I think there might have only been allowed 2 or 3 people in the ring at the same time, because that's all there really ever was. And at points, it did seem like people were waiting their turns. But this is typical in multi-man matches. You're never going to be able to avoid it. It was exciting. It was fast-paced. It was high-flying. They had high dives. It was crazy. Obviously, the crowd are going to get very much into this. Callum Newman, Robbie X, Danny Black, Jordan Oliver, Tony Deppen, Cole Radrick, man like the Reese, they can all do some really insane stuff. So, fantastic. Man like the Reese came away with a win. Yay. Then it was the main event, and it was Spike Trivet versus Drew Parker in a death match. And I watched it, and it was violent. It was very violent, and there was mirrors and barbed wires and a baseball bat with plastic forks sticking out of it at one point, and thumbtacks, tables, all the rest. And Spike Trivet picked up the win here. Good. There was an interference by a security guard who was Bullet. Bullet, somebody's been making his name on the South scene recently with Entertainment Wrestling Association, Reach Wrestling, and a couple of others. He's a big, bad dude. Now, I saw somebody say, oh, well, you shouldn't have had 2 LA Taylor and Bullet. I disagree with that. I do. Yeah. I think there was a match in between, and these are independent shows. You're not going to know who everybody is. You know, there's only so many big stars available right now. And I just want to liken somebody back who went 2019 progress compared to 2021 progress and 2022 progress. Sorry. I'm just going to point out one thing. AEW didn't exist until March 2019. You know what AEW did? They took up a lot of the big name independent wrestling stars, and they were no longer able to be on these smaller shows. Every now and then they get the chances to, but people like, and there's also the NXT of 2019 was much different to the NXT of 2022. There were huge big name indie darlings on NXT, and they were sent regularly to Progress to get some experience.
Yep.
That doesn't happen anymore because there's no point. There's no big stars left on NXT, apart from the NXT UK guys that have recently moved over there. So, let's drop that. I think it's a ridiculous comparison. And overall, I'm going to give it 3 sugars. Was it the best show? No. Was it a bad show? No. It was a good show. It just, some minor, for me, I believe, are constructive criticisms, such as not having back-to-back roll-ups, back-to-back low blows. And but other than that, I don't think so. And you know what? I watched the death match. It's probably not as bad as the death matches that Drew Parker has over in Japan, and I'm glad for it. Spike Trevay tried to get out of it. It was really good. As I say, 3 sugars, and get over it. Stop trying to hate on Progress just because they're Progress.
Now, I'm excited for something Progress has announced. They have announced a brand new match type that the fans will help in putting together. For the Deadly Viper Tour, codenamed Sidewinder on the 9th of October in Manchester, the Super Mob Brothers 7. Progress Wrestling will be introducing a significant match format, Super Mob Smash 7, inspired by many a classic arcade game, which will debut at 143. The match will feature 12 competitors, with the winner receiving a title shot, and if a competing champion wins by pin or submission, they get to choose their next opponent. I like that. That's good. Progress plans to put in a fan vote as the format and the ultimate composition of the team. Step 1 will begin with a vote on the options, the choice being 2 teams of 6, 3 teams of 4, 4 teams of 3, or 6 teams of 2. Fans can vote via a link that we will put on our post. I'm not going to try and read it out, which also offers 6 lucky fans the chance for a pair of tickets for the event in Manchester, so you can see what Progress did there in person. Once the format has been decided, it and the 12 competitors will be announced. Also announced for DVT Sidewinder, the Young Guns will take on Lycos Jim, and the new Atlas champion, called it, Big Damo, will be in action.
Yeah, you're right. Big Damo. He's lovely Jacobs.
I love Jacobs. I'm looking forward to watching that match.
Good to have them back as a tag team. The Young Guns. They've got unfinished business as a tag team. They never held the Progress World Tag Team titles. They've never held the Rev Pro UK tag team titles. And, they can go on to try and do that now. Or go over to Japan. Up to them. They're just so bloody good. They've also announced the Natural Progression Series, the final 8 entrants. Peter Tahani won the qualifying at the last show, so he will face against RKJ, and that's actually on today's show, which I spell fly, or no, something to do with Return of the Fly, at the Dome in Tufnells Park. And yeah, I pushed for Peter Tahani to be in this for quite some time. It's a shame he's facing RKJ, because I pushed for RKJ to win the Natural Progression Series for quite some time. And it seems like Progress do seem to listen to me on these things. So, Progress, so the first one, Peter Tahani versus RKJ, and the same likelihood for me as RKJ is going to win this. I'm really gutted I haven't got a chance to see Tahani in the UK, but I will get to see him this weekend as part of the WXW festival. Anyway, Leon Slater will face Liam Slater at Sidewinder, which is Manchester, on the 9th of October. Tate Mayfairs will face Sam Bailey at Sidewinder on the 9th of October. I'm going to be a little picky about this. And I said it originally when I said about Liam Slater, is I do believe he's too talented and been in the industry too long to be part of a natural progression series. Therefore, I have to say about the same for RKJ is 21.
And how long's he been in the industry?
He's 21 years old.
And how long's he been in the industry?
Probably about 10 years.
And how talented is he?
Very, very talented.
So you could say the same for RKJ.
No, because he's under 21. Therefore, is part of what the natural. For me, I think the natural progression series should be 21 and under, or under 5 years experience. And you could say that RKJ has had 13 years, but I mean, how many at a high level? 2.
Longer than that.
He's only just started. He's just only having just started with Rev Pro UK. You can't say Southside were big.
Southside used to sell 700, 800 tickets for the Stephen News. I can say they were big.
Didn't do it regularly enough to.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, aren't we?
Yeah. Joe Lando versus Nico Angelo is the last one. That is Snake Chamber on the 16th of October. That's good. You know, again, that's great. 5 years. That's what we're talking about.
All right, I'm going to continue this argument then. Should Tate Mayfair's be in it? Mind that he has been having some major matches in progress.
Due to the break that he took away from wrestling, he's only got 5 years experience.
Okay.
And I said he should be in there when we had him on at the show. When we had him on to interview, I said that he should be part of the natural progression series, and he was.
Okay.
So, but Sam Bailey and Liam Slater, for me, are two phenomenally talented performers who have been in the industry for quite some time. And yes, they're only just getting their shot at progress, but to be honest, they probably could have come in and had championship matches without having to go through this. And the reason I think RKJ is mainly in the natural progression series is to give an RKJ a pathway to face whoever is the world champion. That's why RKJ at 21 years old is in the natural progression series. Let's get on with some news from around the rest of the UK.
British Wrestling Revolution. BWR's last stand is on the 18th of November. Scotty Rourke will team with Tyler Devlin to take on the team of 2-Bit and Tom Thelwell in a Grimsby street fight.
Hammerlock Wrestling, a huge fatal four-way in the junior heavyweight division, has been announced as RJ Singh, Ian Skinner, Maverick Mayhew, and Benny Nitro will face off against each other.
Ignite Wrestling Pro Corey McRae will defend his newly won Ignite Championship against the 6'6" former Evolution champion Simon Quest at Ignite Wrestling's Curtain Call on the 20th of November in Boreham Wood. Plus, Curtain Call will see the Breakout Division final, which will be a fatal four-way match between Nino Bryant, Smashing Mike, Mark True, and Xander Bryant. That will be a match to watch. Next one is Riot Cabaret Pro Wrestling, which I am actually giving serious contemplation to going along to.
Yes, several matches have been announced for Riot Cabarets. It's Slapham Grand at the Clapham Grand on the 18th of October. Nina Williams will face Millie McKenzie and defend her women's championship. There'll be a 6-team tag team turmoil match, the 0121, the CPF, Greedy Souls, FSU, Mayfair's and somebody, and the Sunshine Machine.
That's a hell of a lineup.
Harley Hudson will be in a triple threat match alongside Alexis Falcon and Livy Grace. Session Moth Martina will face Charles Crowley in a match that's been announced several times and never been managed to actually do it. Well, they finally get to do it in this one. And Joe Lando versus Murdoch.
Kamikaze Pro Wrestling. The next Kamikaze live event will be Kamikaze Pro Live 29, and that'll be on the 7th of October in Birmingham.
Chantal Jordan will be defending her Okay, Kamikaze Live Championship on that show. Resurgence Wrestling. Last week we announced that Alex Windsor will face Spike Trivet for the Resurgence Championship at Requiem for Resurgence on the 20th of November. Now Resurgence have announced Kanji will face the returning Chris Ridgway. How many times did I say Resurgence during that? God.
Many, many times. UKPW. Tables, Ladders and Scares returns on the 22nd of October in Falconwood. Danny Black will defend his UKPW Inter-Regional Tag Team Championship.
Just
his UK Inter-Regional Championship in a fatal four-way match. The first of the three opponents has been revealed as Tommy Lawrence, and do have a look at their imagery that they're using of the zombie Danny Black. It's brilliant. Also announced, KM Lane will face Jack Kent in a grudge match.
Coliseum Pro Wrestling are back for their second show, and it's on the 5th of November. It is in Crawley. It's Saxon Huxley, Nathan Cruz, Ronnie Knox, Alexander Roth, Roy Johnson, Charlie Morgan, Gaia Hawks, Laura Di Matteo, Nico Angelo, Theodora Shikau Sharm, Nico Angelo, and more will all be involved.
Nico Angelo wrestling twice by the look of it.
He is.
He's
just so bloody good.
Yes, I can see double. There's 4 of them. Phenomenal Elite Wrestling. 2 matches have been announced. In fact, 3 matches have been announced now.
Yes.
For the 28th of October show, Toil and Trouble. At New Beginnings, we saw H. Hood leave a statement with his new group, FTGU, as they came in and battered down the former running company of Phenomenal Elite. He and his group member, Ronnie Knox, are set to wrestle in a tag team and take on the undefeated Invisible Man and Luna Blue. Smashing Mike will defend his PEW Internet Championship against Chase Martini, and it has been announced that Ivy is going to have an open challenge for the PEW Women's Championship.
Who will answer the call? Who will answer the call indeed? Okay, Purpose Wrestling. Now that they finally got to do Invaders Must Die and put that show out of the way, it is now Purpose have announced Hungry Like a Wolf, which will be on the 7th of October in the Mertens R Space in Wimbledon. Jordan Brace will defend the Purpose Wrestling Championship against Dan Maloney. Right, now my quick guide to the WXW World Tag Team Festival. I'm going to do this as quick as I can because we've run over much longer than I like to. The World Tag Team Festival, it kicks off this weekend, starting on Friday and concluding on Monday. The festival actually features 7 shows in 4 days. The tournament itself, the Tag Team Festival, will be a round-robin tag team tournament with 8 teams split into 2 groups. Group A consists of the 3 Bastards, Prince Aurora and Maggot, Sanity, Axel Tiska and Eric Young, the French Adores, Egil Blanc and Senza Photo, and the Calamari Drunken Kings, Chris Brook and Masahiro Takanashi. Group B features Amboss, Robert Dreisker and Icarus. Icarus of the Arrows of Hungary. Dover is injured. Robert Dreisker is taking his place. Rot and Flot, Michael Scheckenberg and Nikita Charisma. Violence is Forever, Kevin Q and Dominic Carini, and the team of Fuminori Abe and Shigehiro Abe. The teams will face off each other against everybody else in their group.
I am going to let you explain the rest of this weekend in your own time, because this is an important thing and you need to let people know exactly what's going on, because this is just going to be an absolutely amazing weekend of wrestling. So I'm going to leave you to it. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to what Andy has to say, because this is important for British wrestling. Thank you very much. And I shall leave you with Andy.
Each team will face off against each other in their individual blocks, with the winners of each group facing off in the final. This weekend also features the return of the Femme Fatale, and all women's show that features an 8 women's tournament. You've also got 1 episode of We Love Wrestling taped and a episode of We Love Wrestling Wildcard Edition. It all kicks off, as we say, Friday the 30th of September in a circle. The card has announced Fuminori Abe versus Masha Slamovich. This is the only match that has been announced so far for the show. It's the most exclusive show. There are limited tickets because the show is held in the WXW Academy. Saturday sees the whole festival kick off proper, starting with the Femme Fatales. As I say, there's going to be an 8-woman tournament. In round 1, Ivor Kolowski will face Killer Kelly. Alice Inc. will face Nikki Foxley. Master Slamovich will face Ava Everett. Anastasia Bardot faces Orsi. As I say, they are all first round matches. Now, Maria De La Rosa and Michelle Green have also been announced for the show, although matches have not been announced. We'll take the assumption that they're likely going to face each other. You've also got the WXW Women's Championship match. Baby Allison defends her championship against the returning, longest reigning undefeated champion Amal, who never lost the championship belt, and Calypso, a French star who holds 2 victories over Baby Allison, one by pinfall when the title was not on the line, and one by countout when the title was on the line. Of course, the show will also have the semi-finals and the finals of the Femme Fatale tournament. Night 1 sees the World Tag Team Festival kick off. You have so here we go. Sanity versus the Calamari Drunken Kings. Pretty Bastards versus the Frenchadors. Amboss will face Shigehiro Irie and Fuminori Abe. Violence is Forever. Kevin Q and Dominic Guarini will face Rot and Flot. You've also got a number 1 contenders match. Mike Bailey versus Bobby Guns. They have faced off twice before in WXW. Bobby Guns picking up the win in both of those previous matches. There is also a street fight between Jörn Simmons and Heisenberg. Should be a cracking match. Heavyweight power. Should be a fantastic match indeed. Sunday kicks off again with WXW We Love Wrestling taping. Metahan versus Axel Tiska. Metahan's return to WXW. He'll be facing former WWE superstar Axel Tiska. Bobby Guns faces Masha Slamovich. Ava Everett and Ivor Kolowski will face Killer Kelly and Marie De La Rosa. The WXW Shotgun Champion Maggot faces Gulias Jr., Michael Knight, and Elijah Blum. If you listen to my recent interview with head official and COO of WXW, Mr. Tassilo Jung, you'll hear him talk about Elijah Blum as a very, very hot prospect coming out of their academy. Lawrence Roman will face Hector Invictus, and Peter Tahani will face Fast Time Mudo. Night 2 of the World Tag Team Festival sees the Pretty Bastards versus Sanity and the Calamari Drunken Kings versus the Frenchadors. Amboss versus Rot and Flot, and Violence is Forever versus Shigehiro Irie and Fuminori Abe. The WXW Unified World Wrestling Championship will be on the line. Either Mike Bailey or Bobby Guns will face champion Tristan Archer. Monday, it kicks off with the WXW We Love Wrestling Edition, Wildcard Edition, and you've also got, this is where they get many, guys that aren't normally on WXW shows, onto WXW shows, give them a run out, give them a seal, think of it as like a trial. Cheeseburger versus Danny Miles, Chris Dice and Maverick versus Joe Keys and Dante Caballero. Man Like Doris versus Jarrett Diaz and Eli Isom. LJ Cleary versus Jaden Newman. Kev Lloyd versus Thomas Shire. Steve Penner versus Akira. And Excel Ryman versus O'Shea Edwards. Then you've got the night 3 and final night of the World Tag Team Festival. Pretty Bastards versus the Calamari Drunken Kings. Sanity versus the Frenchadors. Shigehiro Irie and Fuminomi Abe versus Rot and Flot. And Violence is Forever versus Amboss. Plus, the World Tag Team Festival Finals, as the Block A winner will face the Block B winner. It's going to be an incredible, incredible show. It is absolutely, I can't wait to be over in Germany to see this. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you follow the TNT Pods on socials, all your Facebooks and your Twitters. Make sure you follow myself at GBAtaku82, Big Daddy Dan at Big Daddy Dan TT. Make sure you follow the Body Slam, bodyslam.net. Make sure if you like this video to like this video and subscribe to the bodyslam.net YouTube channel. Check out the Johners nightclub, the Johners Podcasting Network. Do yourself a favor, watch more British wrestling. There's so much happening. Till then, just remember, don't feed the trolls.